the other camera and this one. That should sync it. And if that doesn't, then that will. Did you just autofocus me? You just autofocused. There we go. Yeah, that's just syncing up the other camera so I can edit this and make it look decent later for YouTube. And I'll sort this into frames in just a moment. Also, hi there. And I believe we're good on the computer front. Right, we should be good, I think. Especially once I get the manual for the second one onto my iPad. That can wait until we're at that Zoid. For now, though, we have this. I have a new thing. This is a magnifying visor. And this is going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. And as always, for anyone who joins in that I cannot see watching, or anyone who watches later, I'm Saber, and I rebuild Zoids model kits. Basically just reliving a bit of my childhood with you guys. And yes, I got it. It's very, very light. The battery life on the lamp is awful, but it's button cells. It's what you get for having it so light, basically. It does mean I need to lean in a little bit though with this, so I might actually need to refocus this camera. There we go, now I can see what I'm doing. I can see much bigger than before. And as a nice bonus, I can see out the side of this. Plus, we don't have an awful colour. that, and we'll need to disentangle this from my paintbrush. There we go. So, let's sort out the bits. Really, person? Let's see, B-frame. Let me switch that off for the minute. Ooh. We've got a repair to make. Is that a major thing? Oh, it's not too major, it's just this front piece. Let's see, B is just going to be all these red bits. This is going to be a very simple build, which is why I've got a second one handy. Oh, what's wrong with the piece? We've got... What happens is these two pieces go together around the proboscis. You'll notice the proboscis only has one peg down here, and that peg is lodged in this bit. Focus. Thank you. Focus. Yeah, it's lodged in there. Probably never getting that out, but this Zoid was very, very inexpensive and unfortunately has some bad stress marks along there. But it's okay because we have a solution to that. Why do we have a black peg? Where can I sneak that so it goes unseen? You know what, we're going to roll with it for now. Oh, that peg is probably from the Viper the other week. So we're all good there. That's A-frame, B-frame, and C-frame. And a little pilot dude. Our solution to that, though, is a brand of plastic cement. I use Tamiya, you can use anything though. So, I do believe we are ready to begin. Is that still recording? I hope it is. Wake up, camera. Yes, record. Thank you. So, my apologies. Another clap to make sure it resyncs. And we take our motor and put it to one side. because now we take 2 of these legs. Whoever previously owned this, I don't think cared a whole lot about trimming it. And apparently this is neighbour's car or boat test hour. We're just gonna trim that. I've turned my phone back around for a better angle than I had last week, because I prefer how I sounded last week, but the look of the thing is not as good. I need to find a compromise between the two, I think. I need to get a microphone working on this phone. I don't know if that's going to be doable though. Any car that's that noisy though probably needs help. Oh, he's just a rev head, okay. That's fine. To each their own. I suppose it is hobby hour. Yes, I liked the name Let's Build that we all thought of last week. So, guess what we're calling these now? Hint, it's the title of the stream. Perfection is most certainly not a major concern with this particular build. Okay, we've got our legs trimmed up. Rev the Zoids. Much rev. Many vroom. On the plus side, we'll get to see a wind-up one walking for once. Oh, right, I need to shake up the panel wash and grab a cloth. One of these days, I'll actually be prepared before the stream. Prepared before the stream? No, that'll never happen. I don't think it's ever going to be a thing. It's a really, really nice thing. I can actually see what I'm doing. Now that I have the sight, I just need the patience. Yeah, so... No, it's been an interesting week for me. But first, how's it been for everyone here? Because I want to catch up with you guys before I just swamp you with details of my life. Because later on, I've got fairly big news. That I think everyone who's in here already has heard so far. Because I was very excited about it. Aw, you love the details of my life? Still, I want to hear updates on... I want to speak to you guys a bit first, just because... No, my stuff can wait just a little while. That has come up so nice. Focus. That has come up so nice. Now I'm going to do that side. Perfection isn't the name of the game here, but... Perfection isn't the name of the game here, but I'm going to see just how neatly I can do this. I'm sorry to hear it's been a rough week for you. If you don't want me to say what you say in the chat on the stream itself, then I will respect that, because I know rough weeks can be a bit like that sometimes. Okay, I'm not a rev head, but I do totally get enjoying having a car thing as a thing, but surely anything that sounds like that is a little bit unwell. Wow, what did I just do there? Things best discussed in our private chats. That's totally fair and fine. Then I'll share a little bit of what's going on for me, in that case, just to maybe help brighten your day a little bit. I know, because it certainly brightened mine, and I guess if you like hearing good news about other people's lives, then yeah. So a little bit of background for anyone watching later. I don't just do this, I also do leather work. I only started relatively recently, and I totally missed the bottle there. But I started leatherworking relatively recently, and yesterday I finished a project. I have now made my first sale. I have a commission that I am expecting payment for on Friday. This was streamed on Sunday for anyone watching later. And yeah, because of this purchase, I can not only get the airbrush I wanted, but I need to get an airbrush now. Because this project requires an airbrush. I'm still very excited, and also admittedly very nervous about now being bound by a buyer's expectations rather than just my own desire for improvement. I must have used this as a cursor at some point. Right, that's one leg done. On to the second leg. Painting in this much detail might make this a single Zoid stream again. But I do want to make this a 2-Zoid stream, because the killer dome over there in the box has a very cool feature to it. I'm going to do this style this time. And we'll see which I like better. Preferably not on my finger though. Actually, no, that has come up pretty nice. I don't know, do you even see much of a difference between these two in terms of how they've come out? I'll keep the light on them for a moment, just so you can see. Because I don't really see much of a difference. If anything, I kind of prefer the one that I just smeared it all over. Either way, we can take those, face the motor forwards, and put our first two leggies stands out different. Do you prefer the one that was on the left or the one that was on the right? Memory card full. Okay, I guess I'm not doing what I was planning to do because I didn't clean off the memory card. Left. Okay, so this is going to be much quicker than I was initially suspecting. And lesson learned, I need to clean off my memory card before I start these. The stream from last week as well, the Dark Spider. The VOD is 1.6 gigabytes. That means we're on to step 2. .22 gigawatts. That's more powerful than a bolt of lightning. At least according to the Back to the Future movies. I think everyone knows that reference, and if you don't, 1.21 gigawatts is a reference to Back to the Future. And if you haven't seen Back to the Future, please go and watch Back to the Future. If you have seen Back to the Future, go watch Back to the Future after this stream. Because I want to hang out with you guys. And my screen is turned off, so I can't monitor what's going on. Oh well. I can only see what's on my phone now, which is fine. On October 15, 2015, oh nice. I think most people watched Back to the Future Part 2 on that day because reasons. So we've trimmed up both of our leggies. Now, here's what I did differently on the two legs. The first one I was very carefully just filling in the spots. The second one, I just did this. I just went for absolute broke on it. This is what I did to the one on the left specifically. I think what it's done is that it's made it look just a little bit more realistic by pretty much weathering it as we go. Which, any method of doing this that works for you and that you think looks good, if you're watching this later, absolutely do it. If you enjoy doing the thing that's not hurting anyone, do the thing. And we dab it clean. And we touch up the literally just one area that it didn't soak into, while I once again missed the bottle. So, I think especially with silver parts and gunmetal sort of parts, I think this might be a very good method for me to use for panel washing in future. Because I do like how it sort of darkens the metal bit, or darkens the plastic to look a bit more metallic, rather. It's all learning, and if we don't like it, we can always hit it with thinners again. But I don't think we're going to need to do that. first tropical depression 2 weeks before hurricane season begins. I don't live in an area with a lot of tropical storms. Would you please enlighten me as to what a tropical depression is? Is that like what happens before a storm or something like that? Pardon my ignorance on this, please. Oh, it evolves into a hurricane. Okay. I've learned a thing. And there we go. By 1982 standards, this is a Zoid. This did not come out in 1982, but it walks. That was enough in 1982. Right. Now we get on to the fun bits. So I'm going to paint this, and then we are going to, potentially anyway, we are going to do the repairs. It's not a spider, not quite. There was, or possibly is, a spider Zoid, but I have never had the fortune of finding it. There are definitely scorpion Zoids. There are some very big scorpion Zoids that I want, but there are also very expensive scorpion Zoids. Even the small scorpion Zoids are expensive these days. It looks like something Dr. Octopus would send after Spider-Man. That kind of does. I totally forgot to trim this piece up. So we are going to get our cloth so it folds nicely and just dab that clean. Okay, yes, I love this method for metal look pieces. Just cover it, and then you've got this cleaner look here, you've got this sort of sheen over the rest of it rather than just the swab marks. So let's get this neatly trimmed. Maybe not so neatly trimmed. Need this little bit too. Ooh, this is going to be good. Okay, see this little green piece? This reticle? This is where we can really watch power washing shine. And this is where I'm going to be a little bit more precise with it. Or try to be. He says bumping the camera. There we go. Now you can actually see the reticle on it. later I'm going to get some clear coat, some gloss clear coat, and soak this in it, which should, in theory, make it look a bit like glass. Now we're going to find our pilot dude and put him in now. Let's straighten all the shmoo. I'm going to see if I want this to be able to articulate. Okay. So I'm making a decision here. We could melt this plastic onto this. I don't think we're actually going to, because yes, this is solvent based. This will melt the plastic and let it re-harden into place. I don't think we actually want that, because to get the pilot dude out, we need to be able to take this out and bend it. And you know what? I'm thinking that with how much this one is going to be abused, which is ideally not at all, I think we can just let it support on one peg. Also because this stuff takes a while to dry, so, or rather to cure completely. So I think for all of these reasons we will be better served by letting it support off of one peg rather than two. It's a fairly light Zoid, and it's not a mechanical piece, so we should be fine. As I continue to say, it's not about perfection, so it's not a massive worry really. I might try switching the lamp to the other side next week though, if the cable will permit. I don't know if it will. But anyway, we are going to wash down this piece. And by the shape of the pieces that I'm currently working with, you might be able to tell a little bit more what we are building here. It is apparently a... Okay, if I tell you what the type is, it will tell you what we are building. Ooh, okay, I really do like that slight darkening. We're going to continue with that. I don't necessarily recommend the method I'm using to panel wash this, but it is a perfectly acceptable method. And like I said, if it gives you the results you want, do it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we just assemble this wholesale. We just go straight in and put the whole head together. That should give you some idea what we're building. On step 4. Well, let's get this bit first so we can secure the head. So it won't just move around and fall apart on us. And this one we are going to put on before we actually do our panel wash. Okay, so it doesn't actually secure it. It does do a fine job as a painting stand that we get to paint all over. I'm going to move the bottle to where I keep trying to put the paint. Yeah, not... Aside from making my first sale, there's not been a lot this week. But my Animal Crossing turnip prices have been absolutely dreadful. I got 120 on Monday morning, up from the 99 bells per that I bought them for. And since then, they have only been going down. By that afternoon, they were only 110. And now, like, last night, they were at 45. Every single day, they were lower. I was a little bit frustrated about that, I have to admit, because I spent a fair chunk in the worst turnip outcome. Is turnip outcome based on, like, your island a generation, or is that just a thing that, or is it just a cycle that's determined each turnip week? Because I've had very consistently awful prices on my turnips, which is, I have to say, a little bit annoying. Because if that's determined at island generation, then I think that's going to sour a lot of people when they find this out. Okay, so there's 4 or 5 possible outcomes. So, yeah, I've just had bad luck. As long as it's not decided at island generation, I'm fine with it. Random null games, good. That's very good. Thanks, I will definitely look at that info. Right, head's done. Head and body are done. Last 2 leggies. This bit. And this bit. And my telegram is blowing up. Trim that. Trim that. There are so many crows around right now. So I will be just one moment because this has taken us 1 hour so far. It'll probably take us only slightly longer than that, honestly. Yes, I'm going to be just one moment. I'm going to put out more tweets. Let's do that, and let's do that. Now, I finally had a chance to look at the chat. Sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier, Crunch Crunch Chip. I can't actually see the people who are in the chat on my phone unless they are typing. So, hi there. I am some guy who builds model kits of Zoids, basically. Because I loved doing it as a kid, and it turns out I love doing it now. And I really, really love to share it with you guys. Guys and girls. Or if you prefer, lads and ladies. Sorry, Telegram people, I can't actually reply 90% of the time right now. Excuse me. I should get myself a little hobby vise or hobby pliers at some point so I can just hold these without getting enamel paint all over my hands. For now, we'll paint the bottom of that. Get rid of that. And we will put this where it needs to go. The downside, or possibly upside, of this method is that it also highlights the little manufacturer stamp on the bottom. Or apparently it doesn't. Cool. I am mistaken. Very happy to be. Because now that I have been wrong and proven wrong, and then corrected, I am now slightly more correct than I was before about just things in general. Which is a way to think about being corrected on things. I find it very helpful. It's like, if I'm wrong, I like being corrected, as long as it's something I can see is accurate, because then I will stop being wrong about the thing. Granted, not everyone will think that way, and some people really, really don't like being corrected. But it's how we learn. Let's get this one. Always use enamel paints in a well-ventilated area. My bedroom, unfortunately, is not a well-ventilated area, so I'm going to be running a fan pointed at the window for the rest of the day after I'm done with this. And never airbrush in a room as poorly ventilated as this. Just don't do it. I'm all about making the best of what you've got, but if you're going to airbrush and your room has a really, really small window, get an extension cord and do it outside on the, even if it's a really, really small patio or just something, because you don't want to be breathing in paint particles just in your room. So we are done with that. So then we put that in the correct side. That one in there. Then we cap those off. And we are almost done. We take these bits, That one was trimmed actually pretty alright. Cool. I've just jabbed the lid of my panel wash. Cool. There's that one. Yeah, definitely a much smaller and less intricate thing than the dark spiner of last week. That was a huge one. It was also a 4.5 hour stream. I'm not in the mood to do 4.5 hours. Face pause. I caught a ray. A few more and I'll have a tan. I saw that one a few weeks ago, and yeah, welcome to the Southern Hemisphere. We have different fish in Animal Crossing, and we have many, many fish puns that you have not yet seen up there in the north. All you Northern Hemispherites, come visit us in Southern ACNH Islands. By now, I hope you know what we're building here, by the way. Because we've got legs, and we've got a head. And once I do this, there will be no excuses. Let's see, how does this slot in? Okay, this slides in. Yes. You may not like it. This is what the ideal space bridge to Cybertron looks like. You may not like it. That's just how it is. I've got that slotted in, but we are not done yet, because he can't flip himself when he's on his back. I made you laugh. I'm sorry I made you laugh so much the fish got away, but I'm not sorry that I made you laugh. Of course it's totally fine, because I'm not apologizing for making you laugh. I refuse to apologize for that. Because laughter is a wonderful thing. Oh, okay, we don't put these caps on, even though they wanted to fall out. Now we put the caps on. Always read the instructions properly. And step 10 is literally just put his guns on. Which were very nicely trimmed when I got them. This one could use a little nick off the back. Wait, there's a new Splatfest coming? I thought those were just done for good. But if I were to get Splatoon 2 and play in the Splatfest, Team Ketchup, because I don't know, I've never liked mayonnaise, and then I just lost every follower by saying that I've never liked mayonnaise. Oh, they're redoing them. Oh well, now I might actually get Splatoon 2. I was holding off because it kind of felt like content must have stopped. If a major feature of the game was going away, then I wasn't very inclined to buy it without that feature or without a major update. So I'm really pleased to hear that they are being redone. And they went on for what, 2 years, didn't they? Yes, we have finished the tricky to wind Saicurtis that I am scared to wind too much because it's one of these really fragile tiny motors. But I'm going to give him another little wind and just hold him up so we can see what he does. Once a month for 2 years. Damn, so 24 Splatfests. I'm going to leave you guys with the Saicurtis for just a moment. I will be back once again. My headlight has stopped making a difference to what the stream shows up with. Okay, so for this one I need to fetch down an old friend. You might recognize this fella from when I had a wider field of view. But he's going off to the side for the moment. Yes, we are putting him over there. We have this. This is where I need to do a little bit more setup, because my iPad was out of battery and I need that for the manual for this. Tink. Send to an app that will never sponsor me, but I wish it would, because I would use these. I would use this app for everything, if I could. Yes, we have the Killer Dome. Let's sort out our frames. This can go over here. Hi, Vivi. I have at last convinced you to join. Sorry if I woke you up. This one is weird because this one never had a motor. Like, iPad, kindly stop falling over. Let's try this. Ooh, that might actually work. That will work. B. A. Frame D. That's frame E. C is all these tiny bits. C is just a weapons frame, pretty much. Am I missing? I'd better not be missing one of the Gatlings. This can go up there. I could have absolutely sworn I got out all the bits for this last night. But apparently I missed one. Yes, that is an iPad Mini 2 VV. I've had it for a long time and I would love to get my hands on a new iPad Mini. The new ones have iPad OS, which is a lot more functional than what I'm running on this. This is the latest version it can run. Yes. we have the piece. Oh wow, you've got the very first iPad mini, so older than this one then. This one's also had the screen repaired, and it was cracked within a moment of it being repaired, and I found the actual missing piece. Whoops. Now we've got a spare for when we inevitably lose one. So, I'm going to take, yeah, that's the bottom piece. I'm going to turn our light back on now that it's had a bit of time to recover. We are going to go very, very roughshod with this. In fact, I'm going to put this back in its cap. We're going to try something a little bit different here. High-techs. That's not working. Not as intended anyway. Let's try it with more paint. Well, that method is not going to work. Oh well, we tried. We are just going to smear this over a very, very big area. And then get it all off the top and out of this one hole that it's decided to soak into. There we go, we have scienced it out. Oof. The reason I've gone over the whole thing is because it gives it this nice, slightly metal look sheen that I've found I really like. I found that with our first little fella we built today, this. Which I'll give him another wind for everyone who has arrived since. Nefarious bug flap flap. You can go aside for a moment. We take that and we trim this. I look like I've lost a fight with a squid. Another bit that I want to get rid of. We just drop that in there. And pop the wheel on there. And that wheel drives these spinny bits. And also this bit might look vaguely familiar. In fact, I'm going to do a bit of a panel wash on this before we do that. Hallo. Guten Tag. Buongiorno. I hope you get that reference. Otherwise I'll just sound really, really bad at Italian. Now we drop it in. And we put the wheel on that familiar little plug. I don't speak pasta, so I don't know what you said. Wow. I like it. Buongiorno is hello. But outside of Pastafarian speak, Tex, you need to watch Inglourious Bastards. Like, you really need... I speak Super Mario, holy mozzarella, oh my god. Yes, it is. I can very much imagine it would be Vivi. Because, I mean... watching too much stuff already. Well, now you've got more homework, Tex, because you didn't know Buongiorno. But fortunately, Inglourious Bastards is just a movie, so you only need to sit down with popcorn to watch a really, really good film. As opposed to like 10 to 50 hours of a series. Yes, I am still so incredibly glad, Vivi, that you've actually gotten on to the thing. Overrated. Maybe. Still a good movie, though. Was it with you or Jet that I watched Inglourious Bastards, Vivi? Because whoever it was, we were memeing the thing. We were memeing that line for weeks afterwards. Because it absolutely broke me when I heard it. Pulp Fiction is 10 times better. I mean... yeah. Inglourious Basterds is still really fun, though. And it's okay to say that on stream because it's title. As opposed to just swearing for swearing's sake. There we go. We have made that look a lot more metallic-ish. Zoom crab. We are absolutely building a giant enemy crab. Vivi, if you need to sleep, then don't let me keep you up, please. Sleep is an important thing, especially when you are going through basically a new puberty. Which, by the way, congratulations on actually starting it finally. Only took you way too damn long. Yes, I know you had reasons, but it still took you way too damn long. I know you had reasons, but it still took you way too damn long. You had reasons like you knew you'd enjoy it. You knew you'd feel somewhat better on it. So yes, a verbal congratulations. Oh, right, okay, this bit doesn't go on just yet. This goes on first. Remember to read the instructions. Ooh, Dwarf Fortress. I still need to try Dwarf Fortress at some point. Wait. Get on there and stay on there, you little finicky bit. You would think that we would have invented a way... You'd think we would have invented things with 2 hands in mind instead of 3 hands. But it is what it is. Now his arms pump. Playing adventure mode as a dingo lady and trying the new Terraria update. That's a new Terraria update? I haven't played Terraria in yonks. I should play it again. I've only played it like once, actually years ago now with Rix. But I've always preferred Starbound and Minecraft to Terraria. Ooh, they're starting to... Oh, that's the last Terraria update? Wow. So, new project time then. Ooh, we can do something fun with that. Low battery, yes I know. So what we're going to do is we're going to very, very carefully take these eyes, dab a little bit of panel wash on so that it highlights the pupil. And just outright paint my hand through the eye slot. And yes, Rex, it was a long time ago. who is still in contact with someone else who has since dropped completely off the face of the planet. Ooh, nope. Nope, we are drying that properly in there before we put the eyes in. There we go. It's a very subtle highlight of the pupil, but I like it. Let's see if I can pick it up. These claws are not just for show. They're also so I can actually lift things. There we go. Then we put that onto there. Now the giant enemy crab has a face. And he can go at you. But mechanically. And giant. These bits we're going to panel wash once we attach them. To there. Might help if I actually paint this one first. He says, trying to wipe it before it's even got anything on it. Now we take, not those bits, one of those bits, one of those bits, and one of those bits. We're dealing with a lot of reddish-brownish pieces here. The common wisdom people will espouse is to use a brown panel wash on these red bits rather than a black, because the black will stick out too much. Whereas I say, if it pops the colour and you like how it looks, stuff what people say, do what you like. A trans flag heart, I agree. Trans rights. Anyone who disagrees with trans people existing and having the right to happiness, you're probably not here anyway. Let's see, we do that. Then we wipe it off. Anyone against it can eat this. to Doritos. No, you see, I like Doritos. So, no, they can't eat Doritos. Let them not eat Doritos. Delirious and sleepy. That's a good reason to post Doritos. I'm gonna tell you to go to bed soon. We're also almost done here. Oh, do we have... We have a repair to do. I guess we are breaking this out after all. Right. Where is my multi-tool? Stuff it. We are going to break a piece and trying to bend it back into shape. Mods are sleeping post Doritos. Yes. Right, so we're going to just pop a little bit, not that huge glob, just a little bit of this plastic cement on there. And on there just to reinforce that joint. And that is going to soak into that gap. And it's basically going to seal that little crack that we had there. That smells absolutely dog awful. So we're going to skip to step 6 for now. I'm going to take this same piece, and we're going to take this piece. Yeah, this will wick into pretty much any small crack that you need it to. I've used it before to reinforce pieces. My magnifier is disagreeing with me. There we go. Yes, when buying a panel wash, if you can only afford one, I would say probably get black, just because it works on so many more things. And if you can afford to, then you can afford to be a little bit more meticulous with what you panel wash in what colour. But you can panel wash white with black. You don't need to specifically get grey, especially if it's hard to find where you are. You can panel wash red with brown or red with black. It doesn't matter. Just you do you. Have fun with this. Come on, you. Get in there. There we go. Choppensy, choppensy, choppensy. Now, these little guns have a tendency to pop out, so I'm going to put a very, very tiny dab of this stuff in there. Pop this little Gatling gun in, and just hold that. This is now effectively one piece of plastic. In fact, pretty much literally, this is now one single piece of plastic as of when this cures. Pop that in there. We paint this up. No, we trim this first because that's in need of it. Like the Darkspiner, the Kiloderm first appeared in the anime, I believe, in Zoids Fusors, which, my recommendation, if you haven't seen any of the shows, my recommendation remains Chaotic Century or New Century Zero. My recommendation very firmly remains those. We're going to tear off our failed experiment and put it over there so it stops staining things. It's a kitty. I approve. We take that cap and we put it there. I'm just going to make sure that one of these is nice and snug. That goes onto that. Yes, it is. Good. I have not played Doom Eternal yet. I don't even own Doom Eternal, and I don't actually know if my computer can take it. As I'm running a GTX 950. Now that is once again one piece of plastic. We're going to work on his other claw and go back a few steps. And hear some very interesting sounds from another room. Is that a head crab? Almost. Actually, you know what? No, it is a head crab. Stuff it. It is absolutely a head crab, as you will soon see. Crabs are adorable. Crabs are cuter than they have any right whatsoever to be. I cannot see that GIF. It is not actually playing, unfortunately. What is this GIF of? Yes, I know my battery is low. I don't care that my battery is low. Oh, crab rave, okay. Now we put another little gob of that in there. That stinks to high heaven. Oh my god. Always use in a well-ventilated area. Who's ready for Crab Champions, the official Crab Rave video game? Okay, I'm in. I'm sold. I am 100% sold. When I say that this is now one solid piece of plastic, I mean it. The base of this is melting into this right now as we speak. There we go. Like, don't you try to fall out. Pinch, 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 pinch. Crab, 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 frighten, frighten, crab, crab, food, food, food. Excuse me. I like that they leave the most iconic bit for last. Crab, crab, crab. Frighten, frighten. Food, food, food. Crab. Hand. You've seen that video, I'm sure, haven't you, Vivi? Crab, crab, hand? You're a meme lord, how have you not seen that? I'm showing you the original, the actual original, as soon as I'm done here. These were so badly trimmed by the previous owner, it was actually a bit painful to disassemble. Not that I've done a much better job right there, taking a piece of the actual piece away.
They shouldn't be talking about, like, I'm not gonna, if I'm an admin of a server, I'm not gonna bullshit. Most of the people, I own a community that is obviously exclusive to what I'm gonna give some shit on.
I'm gonna get all of these trimmed.
Then it's gonna be like, you're all special to me, but I'm always gonna have favorites.
That's the direction we want to go. Oh my word, what's happened here? Look at that! Let's focus, camera. Look at that, that's been hacked at. I'm gonna break this out again. Just focus and just let that fill in. There we go. It's always going to look a little bit ugly, that one, but oh well. That last one before this looks like it got into a fight with a blender and lost horribly. More than likely, someone who didn't know how to scrape. That's what I was hoping for with all of them. Focus! That's what I was hoping for with all of them. You can barely tell there was a bump there. And I think I'm getting better at taking off nubbins. I'm not entirely sure. Let's get this trimmed. Excuse me. Now, this Zoid was not motorized and came out in the early 2000s. Not being motorized in that period was very unusual for these kits because that's how they were sold. So let's see, we want them facing that way, so let's arrange them. Which way do they go on? They go on that way. So yep, we want that one, that one, that one, and that one. And then we want these ones over here. The legs were also cheaped out on a little bit because they're only one-sided. I hope everyone else in here has seen Crab Hand at some point. Mainly because it's actually adorable. Oh my dog. You haven't either, Rex, so I'm gonna just link it in the chat when I'm done here. Before any of you may leave. You will be forbidden from leaving until I show you Crab Hand. Ooh, Tex can link it. Yes, please. Please do. I love that that shows up as a purple link for me, because I have seen that many, many times. And it's short enough to watch it during this. And then just imagine this fella moving to it. We're going to paint this when we have it attached. Oh, actually, no, we're not. We're going to use the legs as a handle. So we can get all over those. I do wonder if things are starting to come together as to this not being motorized, it being a head crab, and the dark spiner being in play. We've completely wiped that clean. Let's unclean that. It's silly, and it's also adorable. This time we're going to paint this first. Just see how each goes. How many crabs, for anyone who lives near or regularly goes to, or even just occasionally goes to a beach, do you see a lot of crabs on that beach? Because I know in Australia we've got a lot of these tiny speedy crabs. They are so cute. Then again, I also find scorpions cute because they are, and because they are rave bugs. Whereas crabs dance, scorpions UV. I mean, it's fair to be scared by scorpions, especially in America, because there are more dangerous ones in America than Australia. Australia isn't more deadly for every animal. There are no scorpions in all of Australia that can kill you. They'll hurt, but that's all they'll do. Don't pick up scorpions in the Americas or in Europe, because they will hurt a lot more. Oh, that's fair. Not liking the tail is totally fair. Then, beware in Animal Crossing right now, because in the Northern Hemisphere, tarantulas have been replaced by scorpions, and the Southern Hemisphere now has tarantulas. But the Southern Hemisphere, you also cannot make a tarantula island. Because of glitches. So you need to find one in the southern hemisphere if you want hordes and hordes of tarantulas. The crab has speedy legs. Wait, your Joy-Con broke? How? That's awful. Alright, close that properly. Now the iPad's run out of battery, but the remainder of the instructions are fairly obvious. You put his hat on. This Zoid is a crab in a fancy hat. One moment, I have to try something. Am I allowed to say this is a crab in a yarmulke? Because this is a crab in a yarmulke. Oh, an opening day Joy-Con. Still, it's not ideal that it's breaking. I take it you got the dreaded Joy-Con drift? Or is it just completely broken? I don't think it's just old is actually a good reason for Joy-Cons to be breaking yet, because, I mean, Super Nintendo controllers are just old, Nintendo 64 controllers are just old, and aside from the joysticks being loose on the N64, most of the controllers out there still work. So I think this is a manufacturing standards thing. When we put his hat on, we're going to go right around that ring, make it pop on its own. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to let that dry just for a moment. That should be good. Now we put his hat on. And we cap him. Crab, 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 crab. Frighten. Crab, crab. Frighten. Hand, hand. Food, food. Also zoom crab. But you know what? That doesn't give us a very good view of the crab's action, of the Kiloderm's action feature. So we're going to bring the camera angle up a bit. We're going to wipe down all of the spatter from my haphazard painting. We're going to cat this. We're going to bring in this fella. But why bring in this fella, you say? Focus here, phone. Well, because this was this Zoid's gimmick. You'll recall that the Dark Spiner's spines wave back and forth. Well, the Killer Spiner's Kiloderm goes pinch, which is really cool as a gimmick. And if I lean him forwards, this doesn't work properly if you lean the whole thing forwards, but I can turn it to face you and keep it upright. And we've got that. Which I absolutely love. That was the gimmick of both of these Zoids. And we'll reassemble the Dark Spiner, because for now I intend to display them separately. Reassemble that. Reassemble that correctly. And with that, we are done. So, excuse me. As always, thank all of you so much for coming along. It really is great to hang out and do this and share this fun thing. And yeah, I'm gonna go and have some coffee, have some food, and then if anyone else is streaming, I'm going to watch your stream because, yeah, it's fun. So, join me next week, probably around the same time. Hopefully for another Zoid, maybe a Liger or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yes, bean juice. Roasted burnt bean juice. So, you all be safe, be well, and I'll see you next time. If you're watching on YouTube, do the whole werewolf subscription thing where you like and subscribe and whatever else the words are, I don't know. Werewolf subscribe thing, do that. See you next time.